The gentleman from Arkansas reserves, and the gentleman from Colorado is recognized.
Reserves.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Arkansas is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know the distinguished gentleman, Mr. Hoyer, has left the chamber, but I did want to personally thank him for putting the Senate NEPA streamlining bill on the suspension calendar today, and I hope we can work on more issues like that in the future. Now I'll ask to yield 3.5 minutes to the gentleman from California, Mr. Valadao.
Gentleman's recognized.
I'd like to thank my friend for the time. Madam Speaker, my constituents have faced drought conditions for years. Communities throughout the Central Valley and the entire American West are running out of water for daily use in homes, businesses, and agriculture production. Farmers are being forced to fallow their fields and dry out their orchards, and hundreds of thousands of acres will be unable to be planted again this year. Instead of coming to the table to work on real solutions that would give families and farmers in my community the water they desperately need to survive, the majority has decided they would rather play politics with the most critical resource in the valley. Apparently, passing political messaging bills to check a box is more important to my Democratic colleagues than trying to save the livelihood of thousands of valley farmers trying to put food on the table of Americans across the country. This bill is completely silent on the desperate need for enhanced water storage infrastructure to better prepare us during wet years. It does not cut red tape, decrease time delays, or address increased project costs due to redundant requirements under NEPA. The bottom line is this bill is bad policy, and it's bad policy for the Central Valley. My colleagues don't seem to understand that the fewer agriculture products the Central Valley produces, the worse off our own domestic food supply will be. Reduced ag means more of a reliance on other nations for our food, which is an issue for national security. We must do better to address the severe drought we are suffering through the American West. The WIN Act, which passed with bipartisan support under President Obama in 2016, provided real relief to Valley farmers by increasing operational flexibility of the Central Valley Project and the State Water Project. It also authorized millions of dollars for important water infrastructure projects to improve the Bryant-Kern Canal, the Delta-Mendota Canal, and the California Aqueduct. The WIN Act was critical to ensuring Valley families in rural communities and across the United States have clean, reliable water. We made great progress because of this legislation. Unfortunately, authorities under the WIN Act expired in 2021, and this is why I introduced the Renew WIN Act, to extend storage and operations provisions for the WIN Act and authorize funds for critical water storage projects. Over 3/4 of the Democrats in this House supported the positions in 2016, but this week they refused to include my bill in this so-called drought relief package. They are blocking an actual solution to the crisis in the name of environmental justice. Madam Speaker, where is the justice in letting thousands of Valley farmers lose their livelihoods because they cannot get something as basic as water? If this drought bill was truly about solving the water crisis in the West, the House majority would include the Renew WIN Act in this package instead of actively blocking its consideration. I'm once again urging the House majority to consider this legislation that will bring water to the people in my community, doing everything possible to survive this terrible drought. I urge the Democrat majority to stop playing politics with a resource that the entire country is so reliant on. Madam Chair, I ask for unanimous consent that the text of the amendment be inserted into the record.
The request will be covered by a subsequent request for general leave. The gentleman from Arkansas reserves.
Madam Chair, may I inquire as to the amount of time remaining on both sides?
The gentleman from Arkansas has 1 minute remaining. And what about Colorado? The gentleman from Colorado has 3 1/4 minutes remaining.